Okay, so Park Beyond needs updates. The game runs fine, but I'm noticing a lot of glitches, and I think it's affecting the gameplay. As you can see here, this is one of the glitches where people are getting stuck. They're just stuck on this one part of the path. They're not walking to where they need to go. This was happening earlier with about the same number of people, actually. And they're supposed to be going to rides and shops and spending money and stuff like that, and they're not, because they're getting stuck on things like this. The other thing that I'm finding is certain rides just do extremely poorly. Or they'll do okay for a while, and then they suck. They're really bad. Now this ride is just losing money every month, which it shouldn't, because if you look at the fun rating, it has, what is this, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 10 stars. 8 out of 10. 10 being the most fun ride. It has an 8. People should be going crazy for this ride. The profitability, it's only a 3, but, people should still be lining up to get in here. And yet, lifetime, it's just losing money. It's lost almost $2,000 in its entire lifetime, and I can't figure out why. I don't know. I've tried rebuilding the queue, thinking that would reset it. I think maybe what I might do now is close it and reopen it, because I've noticed that other times too, where there was, I'll try to find the video or the screenshot or whatever it was. On a different map, I had a roller coaster that had a full queue, but nobody was getting on it. It said that it was boarding, but it wasn't. So then I had to go over and shut down the roller coaster, turn it back on, and then it started to go again. But even then, the people weren't loading into the train cars the right way. Some of them were standing on top of the cars instead of in their seats, and then it started to go on the tracks with people standing up. They didn't fall off or anything like that, but it's glitches like that where people aren't in the right place, or even rides that should be getting used aren't, because of these glitches, and it's affecting the gameplay, and it's preventing me from making more money, and it's making the game take longer, and I can't achieve what I need to achieve. So I'm gonna probably talk about some other stuff, but I'm gonna shut this down for a minute and then turn it back on, and then we can come back to this and see if this works or not. I don't know if this will help it. Okay, no idea. And the other thing, every time I've built a roller coaster, I have been unable to find a design that people actually like. Even when the numbers say that it should be good, it's okay fun, it should have a lot of profitability, this roller coaster, and all this is, it goes up, then it comes down, and it tunnels underneath the lake, comes back up here, and goes back around that way. Now this seems very simplistic, and it is, but that's because I was just trying to achieve some of the objectives in this campaign map, and one of the things was build a roller coaster that tunnels under the lake, and that's exactly what I did, just so I could achieve that objective and then move on and get a new set of objectives. That's all I wanted to do. But I've designed a number of roller coasters, and there was one that did kind of okay. There was a lot of ups and downs and loops and corkscrews and all that kind of stuff, and the designer for the roller coasters is really good. It is very good, but I just cannot seem to find a profitable and popular roller coaster to build. Even the pre-built ones. I've built some of these before. This one, I don't care about this. Shut up. One of these I think was really, I guess this was a later one. Oh, this one. I could build this loop, right? Because this says 4 out of 10 fun, which isn't that high, right? Teenagers love it. You've got teenagers, families, adults. You've got different types of people in your park. They prefer different rides and shops and stuff like that. So you can cater to different audiences. Now I could build this and the teenagers should love it. It literally doesn't matter where I put it. I thought for a while that if things were too far away, people wouldn't walk to them, but they do actually. They will do it. So let's do that right there. Oh, I want to see if I can find a ride like this, because some of the time the reviews for a ride, there will be complaints saying either that the queue is too long or that it's full, and those are two separate things. And so I wasn't sure what the difference was. It seemed like when people were saying that it was too long, that like literally the path for the queue was too long. Not that it was full of people, but it was just too long. Because I've shortened them in some cases, and then that went away. It was no longer a complaint. And then the other complaint is just that the queues are full. There's no room to get in line. But I thought that's weird that people would complain that the queue lane is too long. It's very odd. I don't understand it at all. But the roller coasters, it's fun to make them, just can't find a winner. I don't know. I just can't find a winner. The other thing that I noticed, I don't remember if I have gameplay of this or not, but I was in a different park, right? And I had a bunch of rides and shops in one area, like over here, and there were tons of people. Everybody was over there. And then I started making new rides and things in another area of the park. And it's like everybody migrated over to the new area and abandoned the old area. And I have no idea why, because the rides hadn't changed. They were all still fun and should be profitable. Same with the shops. I had like an ice cream shop in the old portion of the theme park, an ice cream shop, soft drinks, I think there was like a seafood place or something like that. And then I built literally the same food stalls in a different part of the park. There's no difference, and no difference in prices either. I didn't change any of that. And everybody just moved away from the old section of the park and went to the new section where I was building new rides and shops. And it just stayed that way for a long time, for months, maybe even a year. And I didn't see it change back. I didn't see anybody go back to the old part of the park. People just stopped going there for no reason, and I have no idea why. There is actually, I don't think this would explain this, but there are trends on the screen. So sometimes people will be going crazy for pastries. So you want to make like a pastry shop in order to serve those, because it's a fad. It's a trend that's going on right now. People want that, and then it doesn't last forever, and there might be no trends at all, and then later there will be some kind of trend. But it wouldn't make sense that it's because of the trends, because it's affecting everything, not just the shops, but the rides too. And there was no trend for rides either. So people just, I don't know, it's like feast or famine. Either people are really into a certain part of the park, or they're just not. Like over here, for example, this is another ride. This should be pretty good. It's not super fun. It's a lot of amazement. Let me explain amazement. Amazement basically means every time people ride this ride, they generate amazement. And then you build up amazement in this little pencil thing over here, right? Then what you can do is you can take this amazement and, oh, I thought I already did this to this one. I guess I didn't. You can take the amazement and you can what's called impossify a ride. So basically what it does, you can see here, it increases amazement even further. It increases, I think it was saying increases profitability and amazement of this ride. It also increases upkeep. But hopefully you can make more money off of this, right? But then if you do this, it'll upgrade. I don't know how many levels you can upgrade this. I already impossified this once. Now it's a freaking huge tank. But if you keep impossifying shops, there's something called Newforia. So when people visit a ride or a shop, the more impossified rides and shops that there are, the higher the probability that they're going to get Newforia. And what Newforia is it decreases the amount of amazement that that person can generate. So even if they go to a ride with a lot of amazement, if they go to this ride with tons of amazement, it's cut, their amazement generation is cut by like 30% or something like that. But you get a temporary boost from impossifying because you're generating amazement, more amazement for a little while before anybody gets Newforia and they get the debuff, and you're hopefully making more money too. So it's an interesting idea, but in some cases you can impossify a ride like this one has gotten much bigger than before, and I can't impossify it again for some reason. And nobody cares. Nobody wants to ride it. Again, this is the one that I was talking about before. Should have a lot more people. All it's doing is losing money. Adults don't like it, but families relish it. Teens relish it. They should love this. They should be lining up. Instead, it's underused. It's barely getting anybody in there, and it's just losing money constantly. And I don't know why. I don't know. We can try deleting the queue and then building a new one, I suppose. Maybe the line's not long enough. Maybe they need more room. I don't know. I guess we'll come back again and see. I don't know. I know what I can talk about. So, there's another thing. Seems to be a constant problem. Each park that I've played is that visitor happiness for food and drinks are always on the lower side. Always around 50 to 60%. I just can't seem to get people fully satisfied with everything. Right? So if you go, actually it's in here. This is concerning. There's a bunch of people with zero happiness, with critical needs, you can see here on the right. Critical food, critical thirst. Now, that means that they're craving those things and they're not getting enough of it. Well, I've got the candy apple shop. I've got a bubble tea shop. I've got a soft drink shop. I've got various vending machines with food, with snacks and stuff like that. I suppose I could put more shops. We could try to put one down here, I guess. Try the taco place. Maybe they want that. Most people kind of like it. And I don't really have anything else. I can put another soft drink shop down here. Why not? And we'll see if that helps. But a lot of the time, it just doesn't seem, no matter how many shops you put up, people are not fully satisfied. The food is even worse. Oh, no, it just shot up again. It's just, it's hard to tell what you need to do a lot of the time in this game, because I'll build things thinking I'm fulfilling that need, I'm giving people what they want, and it just doesn't do anything. It just does nothing. We can impossify one of these. When you impossify a shop, it just builds like a little whatever thing. I was gonna say toy. Little decoration or whatever to increase the upkeep, but you get access to an impossified drink or food or whatever it is. And so what that means essentially is that now this shop sells a unique item and visitors will come in and they'll want to buy impossified items. They want to buy unique drinks or food, whatever it is. They want that. But you have to balance having those impossified items be available, and also knowing that when people buy those, there's a chance that they'll get the Euphoria, and then their amazement will decrease. And actually, I can show you this. You can impossify staff members. So let's try and find a janitor. Right here. You can impossify a janitor and make them even better at their job. So they're better at cleaning and emptying out garbages and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but they walk around with this ability. It looks like they have a flamethrower or something, because they'll walk up to a trash can and just like spray into it, and there's tons of light that sprays out of the garbage cans. It looks like it's lighting all the garbage on fire. It's like pouring gasoline and lighting it on fire or something, because there's just flames flying out of there. But you can impossify staff members so that they're better at whatever. And this is another good point, actually. I was hoping that the tutorial would be one map and it would cover everything. But this is one of those games where the tutorial takes place over several missions. So I've done, I think, 2 missions before this, which took agonizingly long for all the reasons that I've described this part. People still getting stuck on the pathway. I should probably try. We'll see. We'll see if this does anything. Let's just redo this path. Let's just see if this does anything at all. And then maybe they'll stop getting stuck. Now, of course, the bench and stuff is all moved around and everything. But maybe people won't get stuck here. I don't know. But that is kind of annoying that people aren't finding the path the right way and getting stuck. So, the tutorial... Oh, what the... Ooh, what's going on here? Oh. Did you see that? They got stuck. They got kind of stuck. Are you stuck? Okay, that's kind of weird. But the tutorial takes place over several missions. I think there might be 6 or 7 total. And they slowly introduce elements to you. This isn't a play on one map, learn all the mechanics. I went through 2 missions knowing nothing about maintenance. Knowing absolutely nothing about maintenance. And I kept wondering, why are there mechanics? Why is that a category? Because actually, in the previous 2 maps, I couldn't hire mechanics. You were limited to the people that you could hire. I could hire a janitor. I could hire an entertainer. Couldn't hire mechanics. Couldn't hire paramedics. Paramedics will help people if they're nauseous. I guess I'll get a couple of those. I'll throw them in there. So if people get nauseous, they can be treated. And paramedics actually treat Euphoria so that, you know, people don't keep walking around generating 30% less amazement. So that's kind of the use of paramedics. But it... Wait, is it supposed to be doing this? Oh god! Maintenance is at 0. It's literally on fire. Jesus Christ. I thought that was like a pyrotechnic or something. Hey, somebody... Oh, who is that? Who is that? Who's doing that? Andrew, you must be new. I just hired you. You're already getting to it. You're already getting to it. Okay, crisis averted. But the maintenance, I didn't know anything about it before. This actually wasn't even, this bar didn't exist on any, sorry about the coughing, didn't exist on any of the rides. And I'm sure that there are more mechanics that the game is going to introduce slowly over several missions, which I am not a fan of. I just got shown terraforming, which I couldn't do before for the other 2 maps. I know there's going to be other stuff here. There's this, which is unavailable in the lower left here, right next to me. I don't know what that is yet. And I kind of don't want to go through the rest of the campaign tutorial in order to find out. I kind of just want to jump into a sandbox because I'm kind of sick of doing these campaigns, these campaign missions. Oh, what the? Oh, here we have another glitch. I thought these people died. I saw people laying on the sidewalk. I was like, oh God, did people die? Did they eat like did they get like food poisoning at the taco place? Yeah, this is, can't even click on them to see what, yeah, that's a new one. I haven't seen that one. I did actually see, there was one ride that I built up high because the game wanted me to build it up on this like plateau. And at one point, it was one of those rides that should have been doing better, but wasn't. And so I decided to delete the queue line and the exit line. And there were people standing on there, and they didn't like teleport to the ground. Instead, they remained standing, floating in air, and then they started to walk away like they were gonna find the path, like kind of get teleported or something. Instead, they just continued to walk on air, and I watched them go for several minutes. They just kept on going. I have no idea what happened to those people, if they managed to get out of the park or they just walked to the edge of the map or something. I don't know, but there's glitches like that in there, and I don't know if that would end up being a problem in the game if you have a bunch of people doing that and they're unhappy and walking around and bringing down the park rating or something like that. That's potentially a real problem. Not that you would try to get a lot of people to do that, although maybe you would. Maybe you would. Maybe you would try to get people lost. I remember doing that, playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, and people would not walk off of the path, and you could just delete part of the path, and then they'd get stuck and they'd just go back and forth. They would never be able to leave. Yeah. I think maybe they got despawned at some point, but that was mean, but kind of funny. Kind of funny. Okay, so listen. I'm not gonna make this video super long, but what you should know is that this game has glitches. There are things that need to be fixed. It really needs updates. People getting stuck on sidewalks. Rides that should be doing better, but aren't. They're supposed to be really fun, decently profitable, but people should be on this ride. People should be lining up, and instead, they're not. Instead, it's just losing money. No one has a bad thing to say about this. These are all the thoughts that everybody has about the game. Truly amazing. So much fun. The fee was okay. Everything's good. Adults and families relish it. Teenagers like it. Why is it losing money? Why is it losing money? And believe me, I've tried to raise the price. You have to be really careful, because if you raise it too much, then people are gonna start leaving negative reviews. See here already, the fee is very high. People don't like that. Not $8, maybe $6. Would you accept $6? But you have to possibly finick with this stuff and fiddle with it, which, oh, people are still saying it's very high. People don't like it. There are more people lining up now, but the price is very high. I guess it's not too bad, because it's kind of like, it's not a thumbs up, it's not a thumbs down, it's like a thumb in the middle. So maybe I can get away with this. Maybe this has the potential to be a little profitable, but I don't know. Again, and it's the same kind of thing with food shops and everything. Everything has an individual price, and there's a bunch of items in here too. And you know, they change by increments of 5 cents a piece. So you could be in here looking at this shop going, you know, it lost money last month. I guess this isn't a good one. It's overall making money. I'm trying to see if there's one that's lost money. No, actually, I don't think that there's a shop that's lost money. Is this one? No. Okay. But if a shop is losing money, you could sit there for a while just adjusting prices of individual things, trying to see what people will pay, trying to see if people will actually go to that shop. And it seems like a lot of micromanaging. That combined with feeling like I need to shut things down and then start them up again because maybe people are glitching out or something, like on a pathway, perhaps. They're supposed to be headed towards the ride, but they get stuck on the way. I think actually the last thing I'll say here, I said that before, but really the last thing I'll say here is that I like this game. I think it runs well, apart from, I'm speaking just, you know, does it crash or anything like that? Does it stutter? That stuff's fine. It runs fine. It crashed once, but I think that was because I had it at a higher resolution that I should have had the game at. And I was recording over here on OBS, so that probably wasn't a great idea, but I brought down the resolution and now it's fine. So that stuff is fine. The design is really good, the art design and everything like that. You know, there's a lot of little details on this stuff. You can get right into the shop here, and even like the number here will change for what price the price of an item that somebody is buying. So there's a lot of detail in here. You know, they clearly did a nice job with this. But they gotta they gotta get an update and fix these pathing issues. Try to make it clearer about why a ride isn't doing well, especially when you have a ride that's just losing money constantly like this one, but nobody has a bad thing to say about it. Not a single bad thing. Adults don't like this ride, but families and teens do. All I get are thumbs up. Everything's positive. Everything's good. It should be very fun. It's 8 out of 10. Somewhat profitable, but I don't think 3 stars should be losing money. I don't think a 3-star ride for profit should be losing, you know, $300 a month, $4,000 in its lifetime. I wouldn't get this game now. I would wait to see if they do an update, and hopefully they do. Cause this, here's the janitor. Briefly, you saw it with the flamethrower. But I wouldn't get this now. Wait and see what they do with updates, because they really need to update this. Because this is a problem. People are getting stuck. I can't figure out why rides aren't doing well. You don't see it in this park, but in the last park, people were shifting around from one side of the park to the other. They just completely abandon one part of the park and go to the different part of the park, even though the food shops are all the same. The rides are different, but the food shops are the same. It's just it doesn't make any sense. And I have not been paying attention. I am I am in the red with money, so I should stop now. Don't pick this up yet. Wishlist it, see what happens with updates, and then I'll make another video later when hopefully things are better. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.